There is a very specific moment in a professional athlete life when everything that feels permanent starts to feel fragile. And it's not the last game, it's not the retirement announcement, it's the first month when the salary does not arrive. That moment comes for almost every professional athlete. The question isn't whether it will happen, because it will. The question is when it does, what's underneath. And here's the paradox that nobody in professional sport wants to say out loud. Professional athlete at the peak of their career is, on paper, one of the wealthiest person in their social circle. Contract is real, the lifetime is real, the status also is real. But most of that wealth is flow, not stock. Flow is income, money that arrives regularly as long as a specific condition is met. So for athletes in general, is the contract. Stock is accumulated wealth, asset that exists independently of whether you are still playing or not, still contracted or not, or still performing or not. The vast majority of professional athletes have enormous flow and very little stock. And the research confirms this in a way that should make every professional athlete stop. Researchers at the National Bureau of Economic Research, publishing in the American Economic Review, study every professional player drafted over 8 years per year. They found out that financial distress began almost immediately after retirement and continued at a sustained rate for over a decade. And here is what almost nobody talks about. Earning more money or playing longer made no meaningful difference to the risk. So it's not a spending problem, it's not a lifestyle problem, it's a structure problem. Rich for 5 years, broke for 50, not because they spent everything, but because they never converted flow into stock what they had the chance. So why does this happen systematically across professional sport at every level? So I found 3 reasons. The first one is that the career feels longer than it is. When you are 23, in the middle of a multi-year contract, retirement feels really distant. There is always the next deal, the next season, the next opportunity that will come that you think you have in your mind. So the urgency to convert income into long-term wealth never feels pressing until it does. And by then, it's often too late to do it efficiently. A peer-reviewed international study drawing on retired high-performance athletes from 6 countries across 3 continents found out most athletes only began developing financial self-management skills through trials and error, not as a deliberate strategy, but as a response to a crisis that was already underway. So the athlete who build lasting wealth treat every year of peak earning as it might be the last, not out of fear, but out of discipline. The second reason is that the system around the athlete is optimized for the present, not for the future. Agent negotiated contracts portion one's visibility now. The financial product most commonly offered to professional athletes are designed around managing current income, not building independent long-term wealth structure that survive the end of the playing career. The World Economic Forum has documented that precisely also. Financial failure among professional athletes are amplified by the scale of the stake. And the institution around them, so the club, the federation, the academy, are almost universally focused on performance, leaving critical gap in financial understanding at exactly the moment when those gaps are the most expensive. Nobody in this professional ecosystem has a strong financial incentive to make an athlete think seriously about what happened in year 10 after retirement. That's not cynicism. This is just how the incentives are structured. The third reason is that traditional wealth structure were not designed for athlete lifetime. Most conventional wealth building approach assume a 30 to 40 years earning career. Professional athlete has considerably less. The standard advice, save a percentage, invest in a diverse portfolio weight, is correct in principle but completely misaligned with the reality of compressed earning window. The same research team tested the foundation economic assumption that people naturally save during high income period to fund lower income ones. For professional athletes, the theory failed entirely. Even with millions in earning, athletes systematically did not convert income into long-term wealth. What worked over 4 decades does not automatically apply to a window that may last less than 1. So, now that we have this in mind, the athlete who successfully made the transition from high earner to generally wealthy share a set of decisions, not a set of products. They separate income from wealth deliberately and early. From the first significant contract, they treat a defined portion of their earning as untouchable. not to be spent, not invested in anything they do not understand, not accessed until a clear wealth structure is in place. This is the sanctuary buffer. They build assets that generate return independently of their playing career. Assets that do not depend on one employer, one contract, one generation. And increasingly, assets that operate entirely outside of traditional finance system, independently of any bank, currency, or institution. The most forward-thinking athletes today are building wealth architecture that include assets which function across border, across currency, and across economic cycle, independently of any financial system. That is a conversation that we will go deep into a future video, but the principle is simple. Sovereignty over your wealth begins with not depending entirely on structure you do not control. They think in decade, not season. The question they ask is not, how do I maximize this year? But it is, what does my financial position look like at 45, 55, 65, and beyond? That shift in time horizon changes every decision that follows. So if you are currently playing, regardless of the level, regardless of the contract size, the most important financial decision you can make right now is not which product to buy or which advisor to trust. Is to understand the difference between the flow you are generating today and the stock you are building for the next 50 years. So if you want, you have a quiz in the description that takes just 4 minutes. At the end of it, you will know exactly which category you're in and what to do about it. Rich for 5 years is a circumstance. Wealthy for 50 is a decision. Thanks for watching this video, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao, ciao.